Do you get so held back by the fear of failure that it actually stops you from stepping forward into maybe more of your greatness into actually what you want? Well, if you're anything like me, I've been guilty of this many, many times. So today I want to talk about how you can face the fear of failure. And if you stay until the end, I have an extra point for you then. So be sure to stick around. Now, the amount of times I've held myself back in my life from just the fear of failure, like, what if I go for that job and I don't get it? And it's very closely tied, and some of these will overlap into the fear of rejection, right? What if I apply for that job and they say no, or I don't get it? What if I go for football trials? I remember doing this at university, or soccer if you're in the US, and I don't get through. Um, what if I go and try it and talk to that person, maybe in a network setting, and they don't talk to me, which is also overlaps with the fear of failure. You know, what if in a negative sense? And the amount of times that used to hold me back, a lot in my teens, and a bit in my 20s until I sort of moved through this a bit because I realized it wasn't doing me any favors by holding myself back with the fear of failure. And I heard something once, and I can't point because I've done a lot of personal development myself, and this is very, very sort of early on when I started getting into the books. I started to think about, like, the fear of regret and actually how that would be a lot worse. Imagine if I get to the age of, and I'm starting to feel it even now with some of the decisions I make. What if I get to the age of, like, 90 years old? Wait, if I get to 90, that's assuming I do. And then I look back, or old age, and I look back, or super old age, and I look back and I go, "Wow, I had a lot of fear of failure. I never did anything or didn't do as much as I wanted to." And I've got a lot of regret now. And I start to feel that, and that's a lot of discomfort, right? So even like I've tried some things in the last couple of years and they didn't work out. I both got like rejection, I got failures, all sorts of things. And do you know what? At least I can say I made an attempt. I tried to move forward. That was in a dating setting, it's been in career, business settings. At least I know now that I took my shot and it didn't work out. Now, some things did, which was awesome. So that's one way I like to think about it in terms of fear of failure. Now, we'll go through some practical points, of course, we will. Now, the thing is that I learned about the fear of failure personally is if we fail at something, it triggers off a deeper fear of the fear that we're not enough. Not it. Let me say that again. I said that quite quick. It triggers off the fear that we're not enough as a human being. Okay. And therefore, the deeper one, the fear that we're not going to be loved, which are two terrifying fears for human beings. And these are things that I've had to work through a lot, right? And now and then I admittedly get caught in it. Now, the problem is if we get so, and these are often subconscious, we don't even realize it, that we're backing out of situations. And the problem is, again, if we've got these unconscious and then we're backing out of things that actually we want to do, and our brain, our mind makes up excuses to keep us safe. It's not concerned with us moving forward. It's more about like, I don't want to be feeling those things, so therefore I'm not going to make any progress. Again, coming back to that fear of getting to like later in life and regretting things, that's more fearful for me. So how's it helping you by being continually caught in the fear of failure and letting that hold you back? It's okay to feel it. As there's a great book by Susan Jeffers called "Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway," and the title of the book pretty much sums it up. Right? It's okay. You're gonna get fear. You're a human being. That's what we do. Fear keeps us alive. Sometimes though, it is not helpful and it holds us back from things that are not life or death. Right? So here are some points that I want to give, and I may have said one or two of these, but I want to give them just logically some points that have really helped me move through the fear of failure. So the first one is think about times when I failed but then succeeded. I remember starting drive, for example, my driving. I was very fortunate to pass when I was young. I know some people take several attempts. I've had, family members I've known that several attempts, right? However, when I first started, I was being shouted at by the instructor. I changed instructor because he wasn't very good. Um, and he wasn't very patient, and that's not what I wanted. I was getting shouted at. I remember going out practicing my amazing dad, a wonderful human being, but you know, you could tell I was annoying him from my driving and the amount of times I was terrible, making mistakes. Yet I kept going and I succeeded. When I first started playing football, my favorite sport, soccer, if you're in the US, I was dreadful. I was like the worst player on the team by far. I kept going though. I kept going and going and going and going. And guess what happened? I succeeded. I succeeded and started to move forward. And I got the best player the next season I played. So for you, just think about times when maybe you failed or you weren't very good at something, and then you got good at it and you felt more successful at it. Because often when we come to a new situation, we can give up too quick because we think, oh, I'm not very good. I feel like a failure. Yeah, there's going to be times in your life when either you had to or you didn't, where you've overcome that initial failure and you've succeeded. So that's always a good reminder. Just list it down, list as many as you can, get minimum of 10. Right. The second thing is praise yourself for your efforts, not the outcome. Okay. If you do get a result, amazing. Celebrate, be happy about it. Celebrate your effort though. Celebrate yourself for moving forward. Celebrate yourself for just making the effort no matter what the outcome is, because our nervous system wants to do more of something when it's praised. Think about it. If someone praises you for doing something, how do you feel? If you're anything like me, usually pretty good. It feels good, right? Someone says, great job, like it's a director or whatever, or just someone who I'm a colleague with, whatever level, right? I've always felt good about it. In business, or if it's a client, something like that, and they said, "Oh, you've been brilliant," or a team member that I've managed, and they're like, "Oh, you're doing a really good job leading." I always feel brilliant, right? The thing is, though, you are in control of praising you. You can't always when someone else praises you, feel it, embrace it, take it in. Yeah, if you praise yourself for taking the effort, you're going to want to do more of it as well. And then the third thing is visualize the outcome. Your brain doesn't know the difference between fake and reality. Now, people talk about visualization in the personal growth space a lot, and it's definitely good for your confidence. What you really want to do is engage yourself with the feeling, not just like some random bunch of pictures in your head. Get very clear on what your outcome is. What do you want the end result to be? And then feel it as if you've already achieved it. Go, yes, and celebrate. Praise yourself for doing that, because then you'll be more likely to take the action to go towards that, because again, your brain thinks it's already done it. Now, and that's going to push you through some of that fear or failure. Now, here's a bonus point. Okay. And I want to re-emphasize, this is more of a re-emphasis of what I was talking about with regret earlier. Think about and really feel the pain of you not overcoming the fear of failure. It can be in one specific situation, it can be in a few. Think about, imagine where you'd be in life. Like, say, for example, you want to go for a job and you're worried that they won't think you're good enough, which again, it ties into the fear of rejection, or that you apply and you don't get it. It's something you really wanted. And then 5 years down the line, maybe even 2 years down the line, you're regretting it. You're thinking, oh, I feel terrible about not getting that job. Now I'm really stuck and struggling on this job. I hate it. My life's miserable. Really feel the pain that you could be in. Or you could apply this with, going out on a date with someone, right? Asking someone out. Like, I've done this in the last couple of years, like a couple of times. It's not worked out, right? But I'm very fortunate that in like a year or two time, or even now, I can go, well, at least I made the effort, right? So think about, imagine what you'd feel like in the future if you keep holding yourself back. How bad could life get? Because it sounds like I'm trying to make your life quite painful here. What I'm trying to do is make the pain of not taking action more painful than the pain of taking action and having that fear of failure. So therefore, you're more driven by the pain of not taking action to make you take action. that's been a real big mover in my life as well. And actually, I got this idea particularly from Tony Robbins. Right. And then also what you can do to link it is the pain of not taking action. You link it with the pleasure of taking action. Imagine the best case outcome you could get from taking the action. Then pair those two together. And what that does is creates this double binder to make you move, to allow you to move forward. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. I know the fear of failure can be very daunting and hold a lot of us back. So I thought it was a really important topic to cover because a lot of us get in our head and we don't do anything. And sometimes here's like an extra one. You just got to break it down into a very small step. We can get very overwhelmed. There's so much information coming to us as human beings. Sometimes it's just about breaking down the next tiny step. So that's what I got for you today. I appreciate you for being here. You're improving other people's lives for being the best you. And remember, you are in control of your own self-esteem and confidence.